With the rollout of system colonisation mechanics in Elite Dangerous, the game has taken a long-awaited step towards fulfilling at least part of its promise of a dynamic galaxy shaped by commanders. Factions now not only expand, they industrialize, they build, to a fashion. The demands of these processes are more than just political influence or combat power. They hinge heavily on logistics. Cargo hauling has never been more important. But in the middle of this logistical renaissance, you could say, a question emerges for the solo pilot or small wing trader. What's the best medium ship for hauling in this new era of moving things from A to B? Well, the behemoths like the Anaconda and Type 9 and even the Cutter cater to fleet operations or long-haul industrialists. Many independent commanders are looking for a reliable workhorse, something nimble for outpost docking, durable enough to survive in a politically unstable charge sector, and spacious enough to move significant quantities of resources to frontier settlements that you're going to build and colonize. I think there are three contenders that dominate this space: the Python, the Krait Mk2, and of course, the Type-8. We're going to take a look at this now and see which one stands out. Look at the pros, the cons, which one we think could possibly be better. Who wears the crown? Now, before we get into all of this, right, we've got to understand the demands of colonization as they are in the game today in 2025. It's still in beta. When will it come out of beta? We don't know. They're still tweaking. Things are still going wrong. There are updates coming here, there, and everywhere, but that's okay. Now, since Frontier basically expanded the background simulation to include system colonization and the infrastructural development, the commodities that play a hole into systems directly influence the rate and outcome of colonization efforts. For example, you've got basic medicines, building fabricators, power generators, water purifiers, and food cartridges are now mission critical items. Who'd have thought it? And CMM composites, don't get me started. Ceramics, oh my god, if you can find them with ample tonnage, you feel like you've hit the jackpot. Now, unlike power play or Thargoid incursions which reward combat ships, this game dynamic does really reward the patient haulier. Colonization missions often direct pilots to deliver 120 to 180 units of goods to remote systems, lacking large stations. That means medium pads, long trips, sometimes political instability, and you may get a bit of beef from pirates. You need a ship that can handle a medium pad. So, if you've got a Type 9, it's not going to work. A decent cargo space, at least 150 to 200 units ideally, if not a little bit more. And a strong jump range, because let's face it, you're going to be crossing hundreds of light years to get those gaps regularly, back and forth, to and from, delivering to planet services, outposts, installations, or building that real big Tier 3 space station. You're going to need moderate defensive capabilities. Pirates are more aggressive, I find, in colonization hotspots. Anyone else notice that? And in some cases, you might want something that's a little bit multi-role. The ability to turn into a miner, combat escort, explorer on short notice. Perhaps you're a frugal commander who hasn't got a fleet of hundreds of ships. Perhaps you're a new commander to the universe. Who knows? Either way, we've got to find a ship that meets that medium logistics requirement. Let's talk about that Python, the Python Mk1. It's always been a Swiss Army knife of Elite Dangerous, and since its introduction, it's been the go-to for serious traders, for a medium footprint. Then of course other things came along, and there's always been a debate. A lot of people still love their Python. I do. It's been a staple in mission running, power play logistics, even light combat, for nearly a decade. But how does it hold up in this colonization climate? So, let's think about it really. If we look at the specs, we've got a base cargo capacity with a maximum config of 284 tons, not to be sniffed at. Let's talk about jump range. Standard, it's not going to go setting no worlds alight. You get a bit of engineering on there as well, and you're going to see the upper 30s with the minimum sort of effort. Put an SEO drive on there as well. You could be knocking on the door of the upper 40s towards 50. Engineer for a bit of lightweight to maximise your jump range. The 3 large and 2 medium hardpoints will allow you to lay down significant fire and give people a good old bloody nose. With the internals with 8 optionals up to a class 6, you can store an awful lot of stuff in it as well. Whether you go shield or shieldless, it's going to be completely up to you. And it will fit on that medium pad, which makes it a good all-round multi-role hauler. Now, a lot of people gave the old Thargoids a lot of beef in a Python, me included. It was the best thing I could do for going down to those spire sites and getting in there. You may remember my ship, the good old Millennium Falcon. However, even though it's a cargo monster, the Python, when configured purely for trade, can rival some of the other ships. To be fair, it's never going to go up against and win against some of the new ships. Gotta say it, the Corsair or even the Type-8, but it's a good all-rounder. It's got that defensive muscle. It can put up a formidable fight, and it's flexible as well. When you want to bolt on a few mining lasers or a surface scanner, you can bang on. Weaknesses really is going to be handling. Its pitch rate is, you could say, abysmal, especially when you're hauling a lot of stuff. Heat management, this ship runs a bit hot, unless you've engineered it for that thermal efficiency. And like I said, now I do like the Python, I always have. It's been that Swiss Army knife, that multi-role ship. It's done me proud over the years, the ability to bang around an outpost. No dramas, medium pad, it's what it's all about. It's an oldie, but a goodie. Old but gold, you could say. Which then brings us on to our next one, which is the Falcon de Lacy Krait Mk2. This is quite the challenger when it comes to this. A lot of people don't think of the Krait Mk2 having the hidden depths of a cargo ship. More around being that conveyance of bounty hunters, and especially the AX pilots. Decent jump range. Base cargo capacity is a bit weaker than the Python, maxing out around about 192 tons. Decent jump range though. You can really engineer this one up, and a lot of people have, and the Krait for a long time was a lot of people's daily driver. With the hard points of 3 large and 2 medium, you're right in that space where you can give people the bloody nose. 8 optional internals, the ability to fit on a medium pad, coming in a little bit cheaper than the Python at 45 million credits. Now where it excels is going to be the handling. It's agile, it's responsive, and even when fully loaded, the jump range is stronger, and supported by that SCO drive as well, you're really going to get some decent jump range. Although even with the standard frameshift drives, you're going to see some decent jumps, and people have taken these things exploring, ideal for those long jumps when hauling a little bit of cargo, that nimble stuff that you need that you can't find anywhere else if you're nowhere near any of the Trailblazer ships. So it's a cool runner, excellent thermal performance, and we saw that in the Thargoid War as well. People were like running these things well cool. And it's also got a fighter bay option, which adds a little bit of survivability and versatility. But let's face it, if you're looking for cargo, you don't want a fighter bay. You're going to bring a cargo rack in there and just make do. Now, where does it go horribly wrong for the Krait Mk2? Cargo volume. Let's face it, it's not going to compete with some of the others. Shield options. It's less tanky than the Python, relying on its nimble and agility. And, it's not really an intimidating ship. It's really competent, but it's not intimidating. Really good AX ship, really good mug-off ship, it's not bad. Again, perfect for early phase colonization, getting all those things that are a little bit quirky. For example, fruit and veg, survival equipment, reactive armor, all that sort of stuff that you want in small quantities. Fill up the hold of the Krait Mk2, and you've got a pretty good hauling challenger there. Let's talk about that new ship in the hauling area. Now, it's the Type-8. Fantastic ship this, really industrial looking. They nicked the Lakon cockpit, bolted it on the front, 2 nice mandibles in the front. It can haul an absolute good quality of tonnage. It sits between the Type 7 and the Type 9, surprisingly, and it's a medium ship. Kind of sort of broke the meta there, really. I suppose it's in the name, innit? Type 8 between the Type 7 and Type 9. it's a high capacity freighter for colony logistics. Base cargo capacity 220, right? You can bump that up, no doubt. Decent jump range. Not going to set the world alight, but it's decent. 1 medium hard point, the rest are all small. 9 optional internals. And let's face it, sits on that medium pad. About 45 million credits, that sort of thing. The strengths of this ship are going to be a huge cargo potential. Highest cargo capacity so far of any medium pad ship. It's a true hauler, designed for freight. No wasted space for this one. Packet full of cargo holds. And it's got pretty good visibility with that Lakon quintessential cockpit. It's a bit minimalist, isn't it? Some people say it's got poor handling, flies like a brick. I think it's fantastic. I don't see any challenges with this thing. Some people moan about the jump range. I think it's okay. It really is. Get it engineered. Get a newer SCO drive in there. But it hasn't got a fighter bay or any sort of form of strong defences. It's a pure hauler. But we're still missing that Millennium Falcon ship, that blockade runner, that, ooh, I want this, here, over there sort of ship in the game. I think we need something like that. I think if your focus is maximum cargo capacity on a medium pad, then the Type-8 is for you. But you'll feel a little bit of a drag, and if you get mugged off, you'll be lamenting the fact that you haven't got better hardpoints. If you want a multi-role capacity with decent cargo volume, go with the Python. If you want to prioritise that jump range and handling and tactile agility, then the Krait Mk2 is going to be your best option. Either way, the Python is the colonial freight train, the Krait Mk2 is the agile vanguard, and the Type-8 is a space barge. Bit of a Volvo, if you know what I mean. Either way, colonisation remains a tonnage, a logistics game. And what's the best tool that you're going to use? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you soon.